Dearly beloved, we gather here today to mourn the loss of our second favorite Kaiju number 8 fan theory. Born 3 long years ago in January of 2021, this theory has blessed the world, or me, with the delight of endless speculation and entertainment. But with the release of the 101st chapter, the core piece of negative evidence supporting the theory is removed, leaving only scatterings of circumstantial evidence and artistic hints. Dearly beloved, Rino Ichikawa is no longer sus. Well, he's less sus anyway. Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today, we are going to take a fully spoilery look at Kaiju number 8, chapter 101, the one that exonerates Rino of the charge of being a kaiju. Kinda. But before we jump into all the spoilers, I want to give you all a chance to back out and click away. In order to give you that time to get your hand out of the bubble bath and dry your fingers off, I will tell you to check out the links below the video to get yourself a copy of one of my books. Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data, a collection of short, absurd science fiction stories focusing on human nature through the lenses of alien eyes. Or, alien not eyes. So, if you don't want to hear me sigh over how my second favorite theory got canned like tuna, today go check that out. But now, on to the theory. For 3 long years, I have held on to the theory that Rino might be a kaiju sleeper agent. Either a member of a human cult that worships kaiju and is possibly associated with the samurai kaiju shifter Kafka saw at the shrine, or that Rino was actually a humanoid kaiju himself, like Kaiju number 9, but working towards his own goals. The main points of this theory were that Rino was on scene when Kafka was attacked by the Yoju that first night, that Rino was in the hospital with Kafka when the little guy showed up to possess him, and the fact that for over 100 chapters, even though Rino is the secondary character, we knew almost nothing about Rino's backstory, despite getting flashback sequences for every other character, right down to minor randos like the girl with the crush on Captain Narumi. We didn't even know that Rino had a human family. The only clue he had was that when he claimed that his class had gone on a field trip once. Then Rino has white hair, and the white-haired character in a shonen anime must always be treated with suspicion of treason of one sort or the other. There have been multiple moments in the series where Matsumoto has made a point of making Rino artistically look isolated and suspicious. But, most of all, Rino was intensely, suspiciously ride or die with Kafka once Rino realized that Kafka had been turned into a kaiju. Matsumoto even made a point of it during the application arc, with Rino and Kafka agreeing beforehand that Rino was not to let Kafka slow him down, but Rino insisting on supporting Kafka. This was, of course, a classic shonen trope. There is the back without a brother behind it and all. Shonen secondary characters are loyal to several faults for no reason other than that they are shonen secondary characters. But Matsumoto has an established tradition of hiding major plot points in the blind spots we allow shonen tropes to leave in our understanding of the series. So I was perfectly willing to see the looming form of some twisted creature behind Rino's loyalty. A child Rino, orphaned and abandoned, being infected by a creature like Little Guy, leaving a human body running on kaiju code. Or a human Rino, born into an ancient kaiju worshipping clan, the clan searching for a new host for their pet kaiju, and Rino being sent out into the world to find a host for that kaiju. Or a kaiju spawned with intelligence and awareness, taking a human form and claiming to be an orphan. Yes, the complete blank slate that was Rino's past before he walked up to the kaiju cleaner job was rife with possibilities. Now, the vast majority of those possibilities have collapsed in on themselves because we have finally gotten a flashback to a small part of Rino's backstory. Reno did in fact have a human mother, father, and older brother. We see their pictures. We see the confident, friendly grin, much like Kafka's, on Reno's older brother's face. Reno had a human grandmother. He was orphaned at somewhere between 4 and 7. It's hard to tell with those skinny little boys wearing clothes too big for them, due to a kaiju cataclysm. He lost his school. He watched his grandmother cry herself to sleep each night. Piece by piece, Reno's whole world was destroyed by kaiju, and nothing could stop it. No one came to rescue him. There was no hero in Reno's life. Until that moment when Kafka leapt him and pushed Reno out of the way of that Yoju. So suddenly, Reno has an older brother again, someone who loves him and takes care of him. And to the scarred psyche of a child like Reno, and don't be mistaken, Reno was still very much a child at the start of the series, that is more than enough to explain the inexplicable loyalty shown right there with the scenes of Kafka just straight up saving his life. Reno keeps the memory of Kafka roughly coaching him through that first day of work in kaiju disposal. Kafka, just because he's just that kind of guy, went out of his way to make sure this annoying kid was able to keep up with the grown men. That memory, the simple gift of a bottle of vitamin water, given with a toss and a grumble, was as precious to the love-starved Reno as Kafka risking his life and limb by transforming in the middle of a battle to rescue him from certain death. So with that in mind, by the time Kafka transforms into Kaiju number 8 for the first time, it really doesn't matter to Reno. This is the new big brother who fed him, who taught him, who took him under his wing, and who saved his life. There is no way that Reno is turning his back on Kafka, no matter what happens. Now, the inexplicable loyalty makes sense. So the theory that Reno had something to do with Kaiju number 8, it's blown out of the water, right? No, not really. I mean, those variants of the theory that involved Reno actually being a kaiju are far less likely now that we know he has a family and a history and a reason for imprinting on Kafka like an adorable baby duck. But a kaiju-like little guy taking over his body as a child is still on the table, more so because Reno is an orphan. Getting caught up in a kaiju-worshipping cult due to nihilism at losing everything, that probably has probably gone up. See, there is still that absolute mess of circumstantial evidence. Reno being there when the kaiju attacked Kafka. Reno being in the hospital room when little guys show up. Reno being depicted as a dark elf in the artwork. Reno looming suspiciously on the covers, where Aiharu was just kind of standing there combing his hair. Reno getting caught up in some sort of kaiju worshipping cult, choosing Kafka as a sacrifice of some sort, and then regretting it after he had a chance to bond with Kafka, but had already marked him as a target. It is absolutely still on the table as far as I am concerned. But you know me. I am probably reading too much into this. After all, who am I but Betty Adams overanalyzing? So tell me, what do you think, my wonderful viewers? Has Reno been cleared of all the susness? Or has the susness only focused down onto a few more likely scenarios? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Genuinely, tell me what you think here. Hit that like and subscribe button, and peace out, my wonderful viewers. Do you love awesome science fiction books? Of course you do. If you check out the links below the video, you can get yourself a copy of Comedy or Tragedy. Humans Are Weird. I have the data. Humans Are Weird, We Took a Vote, and Humans Are Weird, Let's Work It Out are the 3 comedy short story books available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo by Rakuten, Google Play. There's even some copies at Powell's Books, the famous used bookstore in Portland, Oregon. Dying Embers, dragons, aliens, and things that go boom in the night, and soon Flying Sparks. More dramatic, traditional science fiction novels are also available at Amazon. Flying Sparks is still on the pre-order page. If you want a copy, you can email me by contacting the website to pre-order yourself a copy. It's still being edited. So check out the links below the video to get yourself a copy of some wonderful science fiction.